and it's gone.
What is that actually happened?
Of course it happened.
Oh my God.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. No doomers around here. Be excited for the time that we live in, because never has the common man in America held so much power, wielded so much power over the corporate interests and the powerful. I know it seems like we live in a topsy-turvy world, but there has been a game changer. Elon Musk has been a game changer on X. Elon Musk has absolutely rebalanced the ledger and given normal people, common accounts, truth, a fighting chance. Ladies and gentlemen, check this out from Dave Portnoy. The New York Times has had their verification tick removed because they constantly promote misleading info and false info. They should never be treated as real journalists. They are activists. The Babylon Bee is better source for real information at this point. What an incredible, incredible moment we are living through. So here you can see the New York Times has had their verification removed on Twitter.com. Now, why would that be? Breaking: Elon Musk removed New York Times verification following the flood of false information published about the Israel-Gaza war. So you can see here, the New York Times is no longer verified because it has 55 million followers, which is amazing. 55 million followers and zero engagement. New York Times X removes Elon Musk's X removed New York Times verification badge, mewling at the Washington Post as they cry and everyone loses their job over there. So Crowder is saying, good, hold them accountable. I'm saying, good, hold them accountable. Satirical sites that with their verification still, Mossad satirical sites, that after proving Nazi, Hamas, ISIS mouthpiece, New York Times lost its verification badge. So indeed, these screenshots are real, and the New York Times did lose their verification badge. Now, why would that be? Breaking just seconds ago, the New York Times released an editorial note on the Gaza hospital coverage. That editorial note effectively said, well, we believed Hamas, we believed the terrorist organization, we just published whatever they wanted us to publish. The Times' initial accounts attributed to the claims of Israeli responsibility, Palestinian officials noted that the Israeli military said that they would investigate the blast. Earlier versions of the coverage and the prominence it received as headline news alerts, social media channels, relied too heavily on claims by Hamas. So here's the New York Times literally admitting that they relied too heavily on a terrorist organization to write their coverage. Here. So there's the New York Times having to grovelingly apologize for parroting terrorist organization. That's good enough to lose your verification. Along with, again, using two Portnoy tweets here, this is proving to you exactly how much we are in charge, how much we have the power right now. How amazing it is that we are able to box and badger and beat the New York Times into submission with tools like Elon Musk and Dave Portnoy. How incredible is this moment? I had to blog this. This is insane. One of the reporters spearheading the New York Times coverage of the war in the Middle East loves Hitler and Nazis. Here, according to Barstool Sports, breaking news, one of the reporters is a Nazi lover, is a Hitler lover. So this guy's posted about how great Hitler is. This guy's the New York Times reporter. Man, does this guy ever look like a New York Times reporter? Boy, oh boy. Now, anyway, Portnoy writes this on Barstool, and I think it's really interesting. This top line is very important. Barstool is not a place for politics or heavy social commentary. However, having said that, this needs to be blogged, in my opinion. I already knew the New York Times were pieces of shit. It's been eye-opening over the past few years to see just how devious, dishonest, treacherous they actually are. They are activists masquerading as journalists. They don't have a shred of morality or interest in the truth. The New York Times literally hired a man who openly professes love of Hitler and Nazis to be covering the conflict in the Middle East. The guy's name is Suleiman Haji. So, good on you. So maybe these are the reasons why Elon Musk has removed the tick from the New York Times. The verification from the New York Times. The real tragedy in the New York Times is that their propaganda wasn't even interesting. Also, their feed on Twitter is the equivalent of diarrhea. It's unreadable. They would have far more real followers if they only posted their top articles. Same applies to all publications. But if you click here on the New York Times, you'll see that tick is back. So why does the New York Times actually have its verification back? What's going on here? Well, according to our Twitter expert who works on staff here, you guys all know the great ALX, he says that it is because of this. New advertisers on X will no longer be able to earn gold check marks just via their ad spend. Advertisers will soon have the blue checks and standard premium features. The gold checks will be features, affiliates, extra reach, X hiring, so on, will cost extra. So what ALX tells me is that this was just a glitch in the matrix with how they're doing verification on Twitter. So the verification on Twitter is being adjusted and tweaked, and that is what's leading to the New York Times having a lack of a check mark, because now that check mark is back. Of course, we want the New York Times to be not verified. If 55 million followers. 55 million followers, and these tweets, look at this. A tweet gets 7 retweets. Look at this. I mean, this is so unbelievably pathetic. Delicious, filling, and satisfying. This Venezuelan version of arepas stuffed with chicken and avocado. Except for nobody in Venezuela has any chicken or any avocado, and they're eating zoo animals. The New York Times would never, of course, tell you that. 41 retweets. I mean, unbelievably pathetic. 10 retweets. These people are so bad at Twitter. So bad at Twitter. And they have 55 million followers. Look at that. Elon Musk says it's literal diarrhea, and it literally looks like diarrhea. Elon Musk destroys the New York Times for a living. This is not Photoshop. There's a real article from the New York Times back in 2019. Free speech is killing us. New York Times lost the plot long ago, says Elon Musk. They are dead set on erasing women and others. Maternal instinct is a myth that men created. New York Times. I regret to inform you the New York Times still exists. Once again, parody of the New York Times and actual New York Times are indistinguishable. We need black majority states. An argument for consolidating black political power. They called Tucker a racist conspiracy theory for talking about this. People are still reading the New York Times. Elon Musk says, "That's both funny and tragic in its accuracy. The New York Times is a declining, once powerful, but fundamentally doomed by a regional and increasingly archaic legacy publication." Elon Musk destroying the New York Times. The New York Times lonesome without its check mark. It's SpongeBob. Why would anyone who doesn't live in New York care about their Times? I'm confused. Elon Musk. Elon Musk has removed the verification checkmark from the New York Times before. This article from April, New York Times loses Twitter verification tick. Musk changes take effect. But again, we have been advised that this is because they are changing the way they do checkmarks via ALX. We would say that Elon Musk should probably just pony up and buy the New York Times. That would be nice. He's already bought some deep state organs and changed them for the better. Elon Musk is now positing that he may buy Wikipedia. He would just need to change his name to Dickipedia. He'll give $1 billion to buy Dickipedia. We live in the best timeline. I'll give them $1 billion if they change their name to Dickipedia. Please let it happen. I mean, that's a bargain. That's a bargain for Wikipedia. Come on. Let's go. Amazing. Amazing. Again, this is why we're optimistic and we live in the best timeline. Never in human existence has there been a timeline so entertaining, and a timeline that gives more power back to the people. We are living into a special era. Enjoy it. Don't be a doomer. It's your boy Benny. There's a lot to live for. Keep fighting. See ya.